What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to talk about some basic food storage type stuff. I mean, very basic, what you should have, um, and, you know, at the bare minimum for 1 year. I found a cool little list today. It says $224.94 to get a year's supply for one person. Of very basic foods, and then you can add on top of it, you know, to increase your larder. The $225, you're not going to have much variety, but it's a start. I would say go, if you have any kind of rifle, a hunting rifle, a 22, an AK, whatever. Don't buy any more stuff for that rifle. Go and buy your food. Your food's way more important than your rifle. If you've got a 22 semi-automatic rifle, food is more important than going out and buying the latest and greatest AR-15, AK-47, FAL, G3, SETME, whatever it is you want. Because with that 22, you can go and for, you know, $50 have 1,500 rounds, and then you take your other $225, $300, and buy this food. So I'm going to go over this list right here. This is one person, 1 year. On this list, it's shown 400 pounds of grains. 100 pounds of it is in rice. It has a shelf life of 30 plus years. The prices on this thing are from 2009. It comes out to $41.40 for that 100 pounds of rice. It's shown 200 pounds of wheat, 30 plus years. That comes out to $47.20 for the 200 pounds. Wheat has gone up, as well as corn has gone up, and oats, I believe. I'm not sure about rice. I haven't bought rice in a while. It's shown 100 pounds of oats, also 30 years, $30 for 100 pounds of oats. The 30 plus years on your rice is showing for white rice. The 30 plus years on your wheat is showing it whole wheat, not, you know, not in flour, not in pasta, nothing like that. You've got about 3 years on that stuff. Whole wheat berries. I recommend everybody do that and buy a good grinder, like the Wonder Mill or something like that, or you can find some old school stuff at flea markets and yard sales and stuff like that from time to time. One of the reasons I say to get your wheat as the wheat berries is you can always plant it and then have more wheat. Whatever you don't eat, you know, you can always go and plant. You get more wheat and more bread every day, or more wheat berries or sprouts, or, you know, something along those lines, trading items, or beer, for that matter, for those of you that do drink. Next on the list is legumes, which are peanuts and beans, you know, kind of stuff like that. It's showing 60 pounds of legumes. On this list, it's got it at 60 pounds of pinto beans, 30 plus year shelf life, again, whole, $34.68 for that. Probably gone up some. You can augment that with butter beans, lima beans, you know, navy beans, whatever. If you don't like pinto beans, you can augment it. Just 60 pounds for one person. Also peanuts, peanut butter. I guess peanut butter would fall into that. I don't know that it have a 30-year shelf life, but peanut butter, you know, kind of plays into that role. That is one thing I would add to this list at a bare minimum would be about 10 pounds or so of peanut butter, whether powdered or whatnot. Next down, it's showing 16 pounds of powdered milk with a 20-year shelf life, $15.87. I'm not a big fan of powdered milk. I don't like powdered milk, but I have cattle. We have milk cows, as well as beef cattle. We have a couple of milk heifers. So milk's not a huge concern. If you have the ability to have cows, get a milk cow. If you don't, goats are another alternative. If you have a little bit of land, but not really land for a cow, or you don't want to go through all that, goats are pretty easy to take care of, and you can get milk from goats, obviously. One thing to remember, if you do get goats, their milk is naturally homogenized, which means the cream and everything won't separate. It takes about a week from what I've seen in the refrigerator before the cream and everything will separate to make butter and all that stuff. So the 16 pounds of powdered milk, I think that would be about a glass of milk per day. So it's not a whole lot of milk. The next thing, they're saying 10 quarts of cooking oil. That can be an olive oil or regular vegetable oil. Shelf life varies on these things. They're showing $60 for 10 quarts of olive oil, which is the more expensive. For your regular vegetable oil is $22.50. So the oils are incredibly essential. If you have the options of having, again, livestock, that's where your meat's going to come from, livestock. Of having pigs or something like that, then you'll have lard and all that stuff that you can use to cook with. But the oils are essential for our bodies to operate. For us to work, we have to have the oils, which is why with rabbits, they say you can die from eating nothing but rabbit, because it's so lean you're not getting the oils that your body needs. You can get it from fish and everything like that, but you're not going to have very much variety in cooking if you don't have some sort of cooking oil. The next thing is 60 pounds of sugar or honey. 60 pounds of honey has an indefinite shelf life. It's got antibacterial properties. It's good to help with allergies. It's a sweetener. Honey has so many different options, but it is expensive unless you have bees of your own. They're showing that 60 pounds of honey being at $180. I have some honey in my stores. I don't have that much honey because it is, it's kind of pricey. So that's on their high end of the list. They've got two columns here, more expensive and then the very basic. They're showing 60 pounds of sugar. It's got 30-year shelf life, $31.68. The next thing up, which is really important also, is salt. They're showing 8 pounds of salt. And it's showing for $1.61. I'm not sure how they're buying it, whether it's in the little 1 pound things or what. But salt's incredibly important. If you're not near a source of natural salt, if you're on the coast, you can kind of get some natural salt and everything like that. But we need salt. We have to have salt, at least the bare minimum. I would get the non-ionized salt. That's just my personal preference, but that's up to you guys. For a 1-year supply, with olive oil versus regular vegetable oil, and honey versus sugar, came out to $410.76. Kind of pricey for a year just to pull out of your pocket. However, if you go with regular cooking oil and 60 pounds of sugar versus 60 pounds of honey, came out to $224.94. I think just about any of us can afford that as a very basic food storage. It's just a start. That's for one person. You need that for each member of your family. Obviously, children wouldn't need as much. But I would rather base everything off of my children being adults and having a little extra than them hitting a growth spurt or something and eating more and not having enough food. So anyway, it was just a real quick video, guys. I wanted to talk about this because a lot of my stuff is kind of more in-depth stuff, where I talk about the firearms and the kits and the grinder and what you can do and all that stuff, and I just kind of wanted to give some basic information on what you're looking at as far as food. With your meats and stuff, meats are going to be a big thing. You're going to need meat. Obviously, the only sustainable way to get meat and everything would be some form of livestock. Wildlife's probably going to be hunted out in a bad situation. During the Great Depression, a lot of livestock was hunted out almost to extinction. You couldn't, it was hard to kill a squirrel. People were eating possums, rats, stuff like that. And this was when the vast majority of America were self-sustaining, but they were farmers. It was a big agricultural economy. So it's something to think about. The easiest things to keep up with would be chickens. You can go to the farm supply store and get chicks at that time of year. They're taking orders and everything. Buy chicks. You can get them as pullets. You don't have to worry about any real noise out of them if you've got close neighbors or anything like that, as long as you don't get a rooster. Of course, you won't have more without a rooster. Ducks. Ducks are extremely quiet. You'd need it covered because ducks can fly. Chickens can fly to some extent, but not so much as ducks. Again, your local farm supply store, right before Easter, at least in my area, you can buy several varieties of ducks. Something else to think about, rabbits. A good supply of meat. Every 30 days, they have more babies. So those are your most basic forms of sustainable meat source. Anyway, something to think about, guys. Video replies, comments, etc., etc. Thanks for your time.